How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Infinite Sports. I'm your host, Kenneth Gruenfelder. Today, we will once again be recapping another Yankees loss from last night. This time at the hands of the Texas Rangers in the first game of a three-game set. So, Yankees coming off of the sweep in Miami against the Marlins. You were hoping maybe they could turn the page, get off on the right track, get themselves back on the right track, I should say. And they did do that in the first inning. You know, Paul Goldschmidt leads off the game with a home run, and he had 3 hits last night, so maybe he's starting to pick it back up again. And then the Yankees tacked on a couple more runs in the second inning. Amin Rosario, he picked up his 1,000th career hit. He had a couple of hits last night. He's had 3 hits since being acquired from the Nationals. So he's been, a good pickup so far in his limited playing time. But then, so I want to take you now to what happened in the bottom of the second. So I was, still at my kitchen table, finishing up dinner. And I was watching the bottom of the second unfold. And I did change rooms. So I went from my kitchen to my bedroom. So this was after. So the Yankees recorded the first out of the inning. By the way, forgot to mention, we'll actually say this now. Austin Slater ended up leaving the game. He pulled his hamstring. He's going on the IL. So that's kind of the move the Yankees made. So he goes on the IL, and then they activate Aaron Judge. So that happened. So that was a tough break for him, being acquired by a team that's, in a pennant race right now. And, now he's on the IL, and who knows when he's going to come back. So bottom of the second inning comes around. Slater ended up replacing, or Dominguez ended up replacing Slater. So we saw him in the lineup last night, Slater, before he went down. You had Rosario in there. Caballero was in there. They loaded up on the righties last night with Patrick Corbin starting for the Rangers. So Adolis Garcia strikes out to start the inning. But then Wyatt Langford doubles, and then Josh Young walks. So once those two things happened, I said, all right, let me go upstairs and watch the game. And my TV was giving me a problem. So I had to reboot the Verizon box for it to work. And I finally got it to work. It took me, a few minutes. And I said, watch me turn the game on, and it's going to be tied. I wasn't keeping up with the score at all. So I said, watch, I'm going to turn the game back on, and it's going to be 4-3. So sure enough, I turned the game back on, and it was 3-3. And then Max Fried tries to pick off, I forget who was at second base. Was it, I think it was Ezekiel Duran. Yeah, it was Ezekiel Duran. So Fried tries to pick him off. Ball ends up going into center field, and Jonah Heim ends up scoring to make it 4-3. And I was sitting there going, I didn't really, I wasn't being serious. I was joking. He didn't actually have to do that. But the Yankees did do that. So the Yankees are down 4-3. And I'm sitting there going, this looks like another loss that's coming. But then Giancarlo Stanton hits a rope to center field in the top of the fourth inning for his 10th homer of the season after Paul Goldschmidt started off the inning with a single. So that made it 5-4. And then Max Fried didn't have his best stuff. He has not been good as of late, but he was able to gut through 5 innings. And then the Yankees went to the bullpen. They went to Luke Weaver in the 6th inning. You saw Doval. You saw, you saw Bendar as well. Bednar. I keep saying his name wrong. He pitched in the 8th inning. Doval pitched in the 7th inning. So the bullpen actually did pretty well up until the 9th inning, of course. And then, of course, Devin Williams comes in. And I said, you could see it coming. You could see it coming that he was going to blow the lead. And he did. And he gives up a home run to Jock Peterson, a guy who was coming into the game, into that at bat, hitting 126. And he hits the home run to right field. And then you go into extra innings. Yankees are 0-6 now on the road in extra inning games. The Yankees were not going to capitalize in the top of the 10th inning. You had, runner get moved to third base. Volpe was able to make it to first, I believe, on a walk. But then Austin Wells comes up, and he hits a ground ball back to the pitcher, and they end up getting a double play out of it at the end of the inning. And then They put in Jake Bird to try to get the game to the 11th inning. He strikes out Marcus Semien. Semien had one of the weirdest hacks you'll ever see on a strikeout. And then he got Adolis Garcia to ground out. So then all of a sudden you're like, maybe they'll find a way to get out of it. But then they intentionally walk Wyatt Langford. And then again, you just saw it. Because I think this happened against the Red Sox where they were in extra innings. And it was right before Narvaez hit the walk-off. They got the 2 outs. Tim Hill was able to... I think Tim Hill was on the mound for it. He got the 2 outs, but then, Narvaez hits the walk-off single or walk-off double off the wall. So then Josh Young comes up to the plate, and, he was a guy that got sent down earlier this year. So the Yankees took their chances with him, and he hits a walk-off 3-run homer. And before the ball even lands, I turned the TV off. I turned it off. I was like, all right, I don't need to see any more. And it's funny because it mirrors what I did last year when the Yankees were in Texas and Clay Holmes gave up a walk-off grand slam. I think it was a walk-off grand slam. It was a walk-off home run. I think it was a grand slam. I was at work. I turned the TV off before the ball landed. I did the same thing. And then I went to go play MLB The Show with my friend afterwards. Yeah, just disappointing loss. The Yankees, they definitely could have cashed in more in the earlier innings. And how many times have we seen that this year where it looks like they could do more damage early on? They don't capitalize, and then they don't really score after that. And Giancarlo Stanton hits that home run later in the game, and we've seen Giancarlo Stanton take over the lineup and say, ride with me, guys. I'll take us to the promised land. We saw that back in 2021. We saw that in the postseason last year. And he's been great. We talked about it yesterday. He has been great since he's come off the IL. But it's just not enough. It's not enough. Max Fried didn't have it. Devin Williams is back to how he was earlier in the season, where he just keeps on blowing games. This can't happen right now. This can't happen. And now you look at the standings. The Yankees are a game and a half up on the Texas. I think it's a game and a half up on the Texas Rangers. Yeah. And I said, if they get swept, they will be on the outside looking in. So right now they're tied with the Mariners. Red Sox are 2.5 games up. They got the top wild card spot. Yankees just can't win. They have not won since I've come home from vacation. And I thought I was coming home to a better team. And also, right now their run differential is plus 89. Red Sox is at plus 81. Red Sox almost have as many runs scored as the Yankees right now. Yankees are at 584. Red Sox are at 568. So this keeps up. Red Sox are going to have a better run differential than the Yankees. It's amazing. It's amazing. And the Yankees made a couple of moves. So, yeah, Austin Slater goes on the IL. Aaron Judge is being activated. He'll be in the lineup tonight. He's going to be DHing. They sent down Jake Bird. He's going down to AAA. They brought up Yerry De Los Santos, who pitched very well in the Rays series. So good to have him back. Mark Leiter Jr. has been activated as well. They DFA'd JT Brubaker to make room on the 40-man roster. So a couple more relievers to come in. Jake Bird, so far that trade has not looked good. Yankees traded a couple of prospects for him. That hasn't looked good. But the Yankees, he's under contract. He's got some options. So they could send him down. Hopefully they can get him straightened out. But Doval and Bednar, they pitched well last night. They've looked better since their debuts. We're just waiting. We're waiting for this team to break out. And, yeah, they still have time. But as we talked about yesterday, time is running out. Time is running out. And before you know it, they are really going to be on the outside looking in. And Aaron Boone talked to the Talking Yanks guys today. Got to listen to that. He held himself accountable. He said he takes blame for what's going on. He said he's supposed to get the best out of these guys, and it's just not happening right now. Again, I think Boone pushed all the right buttons last night. It's just, yeah, maybe you don't go to Devin Williams in that spot. Because the bullpen looked good up until Devin Williams. And he sent out all the righties to hit against Patrick Corbin, who's been decent for the Rangers this year. It just resulted in another loss. And the Yankees got to turn the page and try to come back tonight and get a win. And Aaron Judge comes back. And it's bad when Aaron Judge gets activated off the IL and you just think nothing's going to change. Because if Aaron Judge plays last night, Yankees still lose that game. Yankees didn't lose because they couldn't hit. Max Fried just imploded in one inning. And then Devin Williams gives up a home run. Margin of error is very thin. Everything's got to be perfect right now. Because the Yankees, that 7-game lead is gone. They're a wild card team right now. You can't be losing these games. Can't do it. And then you got the Astros this weekend. So, if you think anything's going to get any... I mean, it will... The schedule does lighten up at some point. And once again, the Yankees are on Apple TV on Friday, so that's great. But, yeah, this can't happen. They're 14-22 since June 13th. Horrible. And I did say, like I said before, I think Boone pushed all the right buttons. You had Devin Williams facing the bottom of the order last night. So he should have been able to get out of it. But he didn't. I think Devin Williams has lost the closing job. Yankees bullpen, up until Devin Williams, 13 up, 13 down. They were lights out last night up until Devin Williams blew the game. Also, more things on Devin Williams. This is from Yankee Source on Twitter. He gave up 26 earned runs combined in the years 2022 to 2024. And he's given up 24 earned runs just this year. And remember when his ERA kept coming down and it looked like, all right, he found himself? Well, now he lost himself again. And the Yankees in road extra inning games. 6 games, 33 plate appearances, 1 hit, 1 run scored on a wild pitch. No RBIs. They continue to be bad in extra innings. They have 28 regular season walk-off losses in games of 10-plus innings since 2020. And they have lost 18 of their last 23 road games for the first time since 1991. And I said that. It's not just in extra inning games. It's road games in general. They just don't play well on the road. Look at the home and road records. Home record is very good. Road record is not. They're 5 games under 500 in road games this season. 26-31 now. And they're 34-22 at home. Got to be able to win on the road. And especially if you want to go far in the postseason, if you even get to the postseason, you have to win on the road. And their top 2 starters, when the Yankees were going through that stretch where their starting pitching was really good, Clark Schmidt being back and Yarbrough found it and Max Fried was doing his thing and Rodon was doing his thing and Will Warren was good, and then at times he wasn't so good. But the rotation was clicking. They were playing really good baseball. But now, all of a sudden, the top 2 guys that you don't trust anymore. Don't trust Max Fried. And Rodon pitches tomorrow. I don't trust him either. Will Warren, he was good his last time out against... actually, when did he pitch? When the last time he pitched? He pitched against the... no, because he pitched against the Rays. Well, the last time I actually watched him pitch, it was against the Orioles. The Orioles. The Phillies. I don't know where I got the Orioles from. It was against the Phillies. And he pitched very well, and then once he got taken out, that was it. The Phillies offense just went berserk on the Yankees bullpen. But yeah, it's more of the same, everybody. This team just is still in a rut. It's more than just a rut. I mean, is this what this team is now? Are they going to wake up? Is there a hot streak coming? I mean, really, all it takes is 2 good weeks. Because it's not like they're completely buried. They go on a streak like they did in 2021, like I said. You go on a 2-week stretch where you have that long winning streak. And then all of a sudden, you're right there. That's what they have to do. And the schedule does soften up. But having said that, you got to prove that you could beat teams. You haven't won a game since the trade deadline. So, yeah, I don't know. Maybe something changes with Judge coming back. Um, I know Fernando Cruz is still on the way, and Yarborough. It just, I don't know. Other than Max Fried throwing the ball away, I mean, it wasn't really. There was no throwing errors. I mean, there was a couple of balls that Goldschmidt had some nice picks over at first base. He saved a couple of throws there, but yeah, just more of the same. More of the same. I went on vacation. This team was struggling. I come back. It's the same thing. So, but today's a new day. Today's a new day. The captain is back, so maybe they get things going. So that's really all I got. So Yankees lose yet another tough game last night, 8-5. Judge is back. I don't believe the lineup is out yet, as I'm looking at. As I'm looking at social media, let's see, lineup out yet? No, the lineup is not out yet. But Judge is back in there. He'll be DHing. But what stinks about that is there's no Stanton tonight now, and he's one of your hottest hitters. He'll be in later in the game. He'll probably have to pinch hit or something. All right, well, that's all I got for today, everybody. So Yankees lose 8-5. It's a new day. Let's see if they get it going tonight. So as always, everybody, make sure to follow us on social media. The social media accounts are in the description below on the video. Wherever you get your podcasts, you can also listen to us as well. And make sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe. We greatly appreciate it. And until next time, everybody, I'm Kenneth Gruenfelder signing off. Have a good one, and we'll talk to you guys next time. Take care.